If you're buying a car in the United States in 2026, you're stepping into the most expensive, most complicated auto market this country has seen in decades. The average new car now costs just under $50,000. The average used car is closing in on $26,000. Used car loan rates are sitting at 11%, and tariffs are quietly adding thousands more to prices that were already out of reach for a lot of people. Nobody's putting all of this in one place. So that's what this video is. From new versus used, to how financing actually works, to what dealers will try to pull on you, to which cars are actually worth buying. This covers it all. Watch the whole thing, save it. This is the only car buying guide you'll need this year. One quick thing before we get into it: if you're serious about not getting overcharged on your next car, subscribe and hit the notification bell right now. This channel is built around one goal: making sure you walk away from every car deal with your money intact. We put out practical buying advice every week, and it's free. Now let's get into the market. Let's start with where things actually stand, because the numbers are jarring if you haven't been watching closely. According to Kelley Blue Book and Cox Automotive, the average new car transaction price hit $50,326 at the end of 2025, a number that used to signal a luxury purchase. By March 2026, it pulled back slightly to $49,275. Still near an all-time high and still well beyond what most households can comfortably absorb. Right now, it takes about 7 months of median household income to buy an average new car. Used cars aren't the relief they used to be either. J.D. Power puts the average used car price in 2026 at $30,166. Cox Automotive's retail data is more moderate, closer to $25,300. The national median sits around $17,990. That gap between average and median tells you something real. A handful of expensive listings are skewing the average. Buyers who shop carefully, stick to the mid-range, and know what to look for can still find workable deals. But the window for careless buying is gone. Something that isn't getting nearly enough attention is what tariffs are doing to this market. In 2025, the U.S. imposed a 25% tariff on imported vehicles, 15% on cars from Japan, South Korea, and the European Union, and 100% or more on vehicles built in China, effectively making Chinese cars non-competitive in the American market. These tariffs have cost automakers more than $35 billion since they took effect. A meaningful share of that has been passed to buyers. Imported vehicles have gone up $5,000 to nearly $9,000 on average. Domestically built cars are up $1,600 to $2,000, because even American cars aren't built entirely from American parts. Typically, only 40 to 50% of the components are domestic. Toyota, which manufactures many of its vehicles in the U.S., still reported a 25% drop in net income in 2026 because of tariff-related costs. What this means practically is that prices aren't heading down. If you're planning to buy in the second half of 2026, the car you want today may cost more by December. That's not fear-mongering, it's where the market data is pointing. The new versus used question doesn't have one universal answer, but the math is worth walking through. If you finance a new car at the average price of $49,000 at a 7% interest rate over 60 months, the current national average from Bankrate, you're looking at a monthly payment close to $960. After taxes, registration, and dealer fees, you're in for a substantial long-term commitment. In the fourth quarter of 2025, more than 1 in 5 new car buyers locked in monthly payments over $1,000. That's a record high, and it's a sign that people are stretching beyond what their budgets can handle. A 3 to 5-year-old used car paints a different picture. A solid used Toyota Camry or Honda CR-V in good shape will typically run between $17,000 and $24,000 depending on trim, mileage, and where you're shopping. Finance $20,000 at 11% over 48 months and you're around $519 a month. The interest rate is higher. Used loans always carry more than new, but the base amount is so much lower that your total monthly cost is still far less. And there's another factor people overlook: new cars shed 20–30% of their value in the first 3 years. Buy a used car that's already through that window and you're not the one paying for that drop. Financing is where most buyers lose the most money, often without realizing it until years later. The national average is 7% on a new car and 11% on a used one, but those are averages. Your actual rate comes down to your credit score, with a score above 781 what Experian classifies as super prime. You can get a new car loan at 4.66%. Below 500, you could be quoted 16% or higher on a $40,000 loan over 60 months. The difference between those two rates is not a rounding error. It's thousands of dollars in extra interest over the life of the loan. The most important action you can take before setting foot in a dealership is getting pre-approved through your bank or a credit union. Credit unions consistently offer lower rates than dealer financing. Get the approval letter, walk in knowing your number. When the finance manager asks what monthly payment you're targeting, redirect. I've already arranged financing. What's the out-the-door price? Out the door means the full total vehicle price, taxes, registration, documentation fees, every line item. That is the only number worth negotiating. One thing to know about the current tax environment, under legislation signed in July 2025, you can now deduct up to $10,000 per year in car loan interest on your federal taxes for tax years 2025 through 2028. That's a real benefit. Tell your accountant. Most people know dealers use tactics to make more money. Fewer people know exactly what those tactics look like in practice. The most damaging one right now is called yo-yo financing. You sign the paperwork, drive home, get comfortable with the car, and then the dealer calls to say your financing didn't get approved and you need to come back for a new contract at a worse rate. The FTC considers this illegal. It still happens. The defense is having your own pre-approved financing, so the dealer's in-house loan isn't your only option. Dealer add-ons are another common drain. Paint protection, fabric coating, nitrogen in the tires, these are installed before you arrive and presented as part of the deal. They're priced far above what they cost the dealer. A $200 product can appear on your contract as $1,400. If you didn't ask for it, you don't have to pay for it. Say so. The four-square presentation where the deal is shown to you on a sheet divided into trade-in, down payment, monthly payment, and vehicle price is specifically designed to keep your focus on the monthly payment that lets the dealer adjust other variables without you noticing. Total loan term gets longer, fees get buried, and your total cost goes up while your monthly payment looks reasonable. Keep the conversation on the out-the-door total. Online bait and switch listings are also more common now. You find a well-priced car on a listing site, drive to the dealer, and hear that it sold this morning. Call ahead and confirm the specific VIN is on the lot before you make the trip. Consumer Reports surveyed 380,000 vehicle owners in 2026. Toyota came out first for reliability at 66 out of 100, Subaru second at 63, Lexus third at 60, Honda fourth at 59, the least reliable brands for used vehicles. Tesla last out of 26 brands, followed by Jeep and Ram. For value specifically, IC Cars analyzed over 900,000 used car sales and found the Honda Fit to be the top pick. A 5-year-old Fit averages $18,445 and has an expected remaining lifespan of nearly 11 years, which works out to $1,693 per year. The average 5-year-old used car costs $3,300 per year when the same math is applied almost twice as much. The Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, and Subaru Crosstrek all perform strongly on the same analysis. For anyone considering a used EV, 2026 is actually a reasonable time to look. Used EV prices fell year over year in late 2025 and are expected to drop another 5 to 10% by late 2026 as lease returns pile up. If you live somewhere with solid charging, California, Texas, Florida, your well-depreciated mainstream used EV can offer genuine value, especially for daily commuting. If you're buying new with plans to sell or trade within 3 years, the math works against you. You're paying near record prices, high interest rates, and tariff-inflated sticker costs for an asset that will drop significantly in value while you're still paying it off. That's a losing combination unless you're keeping the car for the long haul. If your credit score is below 650 and a lender is quoting you above 15% on a used car, consider pausing. 6 months of focused credit improvement can meaningfully lower your rate and save you more than the convenience of buying now is worth. Here is a practical approach that holds up in this market. First, Check your credit score before anything else. Know what you actually qualify for. Second, get pre-approved by your bank or credit union before you visit a single lot. Third, set your budget around a total out-the-door price, not a monthly payment. A reasonable guideline is keeping total car costs loan plus insurance under 15% of your monthly take-home. Fourth, run every used VIN through Carfax or AutoCheck. Check for title history, odometer records, and accidents. Fifth, budget $100 to $200 for an independent mechanic inspection before buying any used vehicle. Sixth, negotiate the out-the-door price and be willing to walk if the dealer won't give you a clean number. And seventh, if your search is flexible, states like Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Missouri show significantly lower median used car prices than the national average. The 2026 car market is expensive, and it's not getting easier in the short term. Tariffs are pushing new prices higher. Interest rates are still elevated. Used inventory is improving, but prices are sticky. The buyers who do the work, who know their credit score, who arrive with pre-approved financing, who verify every VIN, who negotiate the full price and not just the monthly, those buyers are still finding good deals. Compact sedans and SUVs from Toyota, Honda, and Subaru remain the safest bets for long-term value, reliability, and low ownership cost. If you go in prepared, this market is workable. If you don't, the dealership will fill in that gap for you.